It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So today's video is a little bit different compared to most because I thought I'd just show what my new setup is like. If you've been following the channel and the podcast, you'd know that very recently, a couple of weeks ago, recently moved house, and so therefore everything's been uprooted and everything's been reset. Now, the new study in the house is a completely different setup to the study in the apartment, and so how I've been able to set up my computer and station is completely changed. So I just wanted to go through what I use to actually make my videos and the podcast and what's going to be coming up ahead. So, here's the desk. I used to have more desk. It used to be more around an L shape, but where it is at the house, I've just got the single desk. It's a 1.2 meter by 75 deep. But I do have a little bit of a side station here that helps. So my microphone, the arm, the ribbon microphone that I use, which is the Rode NTR there, hooks up to my mixer up here, which is just a Yamaha MG10. And I've got the extra line, which is that secondary line there, which goes to my EMC 8000 for when I want to do the sound samples. So I've got a bunch of the other microphones and kit up there, as well as our collection of sort of musical instruments and whatnot, some vinyl. And over here, I've just got my random tools and whatnot for everyday use, multimeter, screwdrivers, ruler, Allen keys, that kind of stuff. Now, over on the desk side, what I've got on the screen is I've got the front-facing camera, which is just a Logitech C22, I believe. And I've got here my Brio, which is the 4K camera, but because I've only got an Ultra HD screen, I can't actually record in 4K. It's only going to output at the resolution of the screen, which is 2K. So previously, I used to use this gooseneck, and the gooseneck was connected to a very complicated arrangement on an old computer behind my monitors, but here I don't have that space. I tried to set up the gooseneck to clamp up here, and it just wasn't working. Couldn't hold the weight, didn't have the distance. So what I've done is I've gone and spent a little bit of money, and I've bought the Neewer tabletop stand with auxiliary holding arm. The box is actually still down there, and it's really cool. It was about $53 from Amazon Australia. It's a pretty straightforward construction, so it's just got a C-clamp. The C-clamp on this thing is massive. Now, I'm not going to provide any links. You can look at it up, but that thing has a huge clamp because this IKEA desk that I'm using, that is how thick it is. That's more than 5 centimeters. So this particular clamp actually, I think, produces around a 10 centimeter clamp depth. So that was what I was really looking for, and it's really steady. It's solid. So this pole here, that will extend another section, which I'm not using. The only issue is the arm. This is a 36 centimeter holding arm, but the arm doesn't give me the clearance past my ring light. It came with a ball head and a spare ball head, which is meant to go onto the top here to this particular threaded screw. Now the camera focus is all over the place, but what I did was I put the second ball head. So now I've got a ball head on a ball head, and that is what allows me to mount the camera sufficiently far over the desk to catch the full edge. And it's actually given me more degrees of freedom for rotating up and down, left and right to adjust to get that full capture. So this is a fixed arm. It doesn't actually move or swing or rotate because it's hard clamped by this clamp at the back, but I don't need it to move. So the way that I shoot and everything else, it works perfectly fine. I've just got a standard sort of ring light down here that's just plugged in via USB, and it just turns on like that to cover the whole of desk. And of course, the recording software that I use is OBS Studio. 29.00 is the version at the moment that I'm using. So that is pretty much the setup. So hopefully that's going to give me a decent enough view with enough light. The room light is above and behind me, just like previously in the unit. So, it does cast a bit of shadow. The strength of that ring light does help reduce that, but I suppose at times, if necessary, I'll just have to turn off the room light. What I do have here in this particular study, at least compared to the apartment, is that I can actually close the sliding door if necessary, although it's a bit of a pain to do so, just because of all the massive cables and everything else that runs behind it that gets caught up in the door. So yeah, I mean, if the kids are in bed, they're in bed, and I'll record to my heart's content. So that is the new setup that's available here at the board. I'll probably do more stuff with the phone. I might need to get another clamp type setup, maybe run off a laptop and another webcam, just a lower quality webcam for stuff that's happening in the shed, because, you know, I don't have the space to do as much stuff here by comparison to before. And you'll notice I don't have the 3D printer here anymore. That's currently in the shed with nothing hooked up to it. So any of those kind of works, I'll have to get a bit more creative. I certainly don't have the space in here to run a CNC and anything else like that. That's all going to happen in the shed. Yeah. So there you have it. That is the setup that I use now here at the board. If you have any thoughts or comments around that, yeah, please drop them in the comments below. And of course, you can just go check out what that arm is like on Amazon yourself or anywhere that sells the Neewer products. My only criticism really is that if they could offer a different arm, maybe one just had an extra extension piece on that within it, kind of like the vertical strut does, then that would be really great, a really great product. All right, that's it. Thanks for checking this out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And of course, until next time, happy clacking.